Two races left to decide the first mainstream racing champion, and with that, welcome to the mainstream racing series, the race number 21 of 22. We are on the final straight of our first season, and this will be at COTAS, the Circuit of the Americas, here in Austin, Texas. Short look at the track first. 20 turns, 5.5 kilometers of length. Track difficulty is set to easy. Well, I heavily doubt that, to be honest. We will race with the following assists. We have medium traction control, manual gearbox, one specialty, pit assists. Both are off, so you have to watch your velocity when coming into the pit lane, but this is not a big issue in Austin. It's rather difficult not to miss the entry in total, rather to speed in the pit lane. And the rest of the rules, we have a 18 minutes qualifying, 50% race distance, what is I think 28 or 29 laps or something. Then equal car performances, of course, full safety car and VSC. Damage is on, weather is dynamic. Sometimes weather can be rainy here, but that's rather rarely. Just we see regular corner cutting. Let's see how much this will be a topic to watch. I have seen races in Austin that turned into a penalty festival, and we will have an eye on it about corner cutting in Sector 1 and track limits then in Sector 3. We have a manual race start, of course, and full flags, rules, as mentioned, safety car, VSC, and all that stuff. Yes, let's have a look at the lobby. That's our host, David Lawson. Good evening to you. Then who else is there? We see Simo, Peter Simpson, very important name for this final stage of the championship run, as he is chasing our number one contender, who is this man, Dominic Walsh. Simo is behind by just 9 points, so we could possibly see the first champion tonight, but it's rather close, so there's got to be a few things that need to happen that Dominic Walsh could be champion. It's more or less impossible to have Simo as our champion for tonight. Who else is there? Let's have a look. Scuba is back. Stephen Hodgetts, second Ferrari driver, who sadly missed a few weeks due to some work issues. He's back in his Ferrari. That's a good thing, even though it might be too late for Ferrari for the Constructor Championship run, as they lost the positions to Racing Point and Williams, only in third anymore, 24 points behind the Williams. So nothing decided yet, but will be difficult for Ferrari to be the championship, to be the champion constructor in the end. There's a lot of chatter in the background going on. Let's just have a look what's going on, if there's anything important. We see one driver who is having troubles to join. That's why there is a bit of chatter in the background. The host is sending out some invitations again. So anyway, we are closing into the start of our session. There's our second reserve man for tonight. There should be some car left for you. That's probably the second Haas then. And, well, we should get going very soon. Yes, the session timer has ticked down now. So we are with a full grid on our way to Austin. Full grid, thanks to two reserve drivers. Welcome to our mainstream racing evening here for Zotzonpad and Central Flyway number 13. So, the picture of the Cobra. We are racing once around the big snake here in Austin. And it's very interesting the fact that actually from everywhere on the track you can see the Cobra, or other way around. From the head of the Cobra you can see every inch, every place on the track. We have a fair, fine, sunny weather here in Texas, just as we more or less know Texas. And the first one to go out is an Alpha Tauri. The Alpha Tauri was either Brandon Walsh. No, it was this guy, Stefan Williams. So, little tradition from me. First one to go out is always the one I am riding, or we are riding on board with for the first lap, first out lap plus hot lap, to get you a bit of a feel for the track. We had a community free practice just an hour ago where we all could try a few things out. A car was free, so I went on the track with our boys, and yeah, I tried the corner cutting stuff that was heavily discussed in the group the last few days, and I can tell you, corner cutting in theory it is possible, but you are not really faster with it. So taking the turns clean and safe is, in my perspective, the faster way to get through Sector 1, at least Sector 1. One intense thing to watch is the track limit situation here in Sector 3. So, Stefan Williams is through on his outlap. Here he is starting his hot lap. Let's see what he can deliver us. This is the first sector, first turn, that allows a few lanes, and then the entry to the S's here, very difficult to take. Not in full throttle, at least maybe the first 2 or 3. Then you have to lift, brake for this one, and brake some more for this right-hander. Very, very interesting and hard to take on the acceleration points. And then the entry to the monstrously long straight here. DRS sector begins here. And David Lawson, our host, in some internet connection troubles, as it seems. Williams is a bit cautious. He's not at 100% of limit, I would like to say. Here in this turn it's very easy to lose the track on acceleration. He did it very smoothly, not that aggressively. Some long right-hander here, and Lawson is back. This is already one thing to watch, because in this turn 19 he was a bit corner cutting, but that was okay for our settings, and he has finished his first hot lap with a 1:30.9, what is already, let me have a look at my note sheet, he is already almost 6 seconds, 5.5 seconds faster than the real life fastest lap. And this lap was a rather competitive, because not everyone has beat him. Actually, from the first 6 times that came in, only Simo and Dom Walsh were faster than Williams. And well, I would like to say it's more or less okay to be beaten by the number 1 and number 2 championship contender, at least in his situation he is in. A lot of times coming in now. Mirko Caruso checks in 4th, Mike Taylor 5th, Brandon Walsh in 6th. Ninja Pro, Brandon Walsh was the one who had troubles to enter the lobby, but obviously he made it. Tom Walsh, the brother to Dom Walsh, checking into P2. On his first shot he was the only one who was able to follow Simo. So here is Stefan Williams back to the pits. We have seen times from almost everyone. The second McLaren Sono Pat still missing. No, I'm pronounced his name wrong again. I'm very sorry. His name is Satsan Pat, of course. I am allowed to stream him on Monday evenings in the Redline Racing series, and I quite often pronounce his name wrong, so I'm doing my very best to get it done finally. And he finishes in 14th, right next to his teammate Guziga Zimpa. Let's have a look at the last guys who did not post the time yet. This is Mercyman. He did just now, but not a competitive one. And our host David Lawson, who had some connection troubles earlier, is still on his outlap. So one important thing to know or to watch, what we haven't talked about yet, is of course our overall standings. You need to know why we are here, what we are doing here. I have mentioned in the lobby earlier already the championship fight, that is Dominic Walsh against Peter Simo Simpson. In second, Simo is 9 points behind Dom Walsh, and in third place then the brother to Dom Walsh, Tom Walsh, who is behind by 32 points. 32, yeah, he is, in theory, he is not out yet, but it will be very hard for him if he wants to keep his championship chances alive. Then we see a battle for 4th place. That is Stefan Williams against Mike Taylor, Andrew Mond and Jarne van de Bril. All of these 4 guys are within just 6 points. So those are 4 names we have to watch for the race. Again, Williams, Taylor, Mond, van de Bril. They are right now in 6 and 7 and 18, and who did I miss? Who did I miss? Williams. Stefan Williams in 4th, of course. So they will battle it out in the race for the points for 4th place, 4th, 5th, 6th or 7th place. And then there's a big gap and another battle for 8th place. In 8th right now sits Grimo Mark Goodman with 79 points. He is at the moment qualifying for P5. That would be very good for him to keep off his contenders, because 2 points behind him is our host David Lawson, who is sitting in last position right now. So totally in favor of Grimo, of course, this situation. Then another one who is battling for his 8th position is Leonard Cam, who we sadly miss all year long, all 2021 year long, as he is still recovering from a back surgery. So just like I said already a few weeks, have a good recovery, mate. So he will not have points again here today. That's it working in favor for Grimo again. And then a big question mark in P11 in our overall standing sits Mirko Caruso, Rockstar 812. He is qualifying for P8 at the moment, and he had some strong races in the last weeks. He acquired a bunch of points lately. He is right now 18 points behind Grimo and 16 points behind Lawson. And with the last 2 races, if he can make another bunch of points, maybe he can jump ahead a bit on the final standings. So 7.5 minutes left in this quali session. We have seen times from more or less everyone, while we just come here in the right moment to watch Peter Simpson for his 2nd shot. He is improving himself by a bit over 4/10 after sector 2. What will he do in sector 3? Just one left-handed turn left for him. Final straight right here, and he has improved by 3/10, giving him a 1:30.0. Just 54 thousandths left to push the time under a 1:30, and that would mean he would be 6 seconds faster than real life. Wow, how incredible would that be? Tom Walsh in 2nd on another hot lap 2. He just started it. He just finished it. I think he just finished it. We will see after the end of sector 1 if his time is competitive. He has some intense traffic here going outside around Central. I think it seems like he is pushing for a hot lap. I'm not sure if that can be a competitive one. Yeah, at the end of sector 2 he seemed like he's not on an improvement, so I expect him that he will abort his hot lap now to have another shot afterwards. Maybe at the moment let's stay with his teammate Jarne van der Brill, which we are sitting on his shoulder watching him here. But he's not on a competitive lap anymore. Likewise, Mercyman sliding intensely right behind him. That was the turn I mentioned earlier, where you can easily lose a lot of time on the acceleration. And Van der Brill will come back to the pits here too. Yes, he does. So who else is in a hot lap? Maybe Scuba? Yes! Oh, how hot this lap was! He pushed ahead into 5th position. He's 1 second almost behind his teammate, but 5th wouldn't be too bad for him on his return to track. Not bad, not bad. What is Mike Taylor doing? Not improving his time at the end of sector 2. Oh, intensely taking curb there in this turn. Oh, no improvement for him. 6/10 of a second. He is behind his earlier posted time. Let's jump through the field. Who might be on improvement? We see Brendan Walsh here in sector 1. These difficult, intense S's taking a lot of curb, while Gorziga Zimpa has crashed somewhere. Brendan Walsh is on an improvement. Maybe let's stay with him for a moment and let's see if or where he could jump to. At the end of this straight we will maybe be able to see the wrecked McLaren. And Satsanpat is out too. Oh, McLaren already vanished. 3/10 of improvement. There's the second McLaren. Satsanpat 2 is out. Satsanpat will start maximally in position. Brandon Walsh needed a bit of wide lane on acceleration there at the end of turn 15. And intense curb here in the last sector. Where will the time stop for him? In 6th position, improving himself by a second, giving him P6, 1 second behind Simo. Not bad, not bad. And all that caused Grimo to drop a few positions. He has aborted his hot lap, coming into the pits and getting himself fresh softs and go out in a hurry again, because we are already in the final 2 minutes. And well, who is chasing the pole? Maybe let's start with Stefan Williams in P3. No, he just posted his new hot lap that gave him P3 and then he finished, so Stefan Williams will start maximally in 3rd position. The other 3 pole chasers, I would like to call Simo, Tom Walsh are still ruled on an outlap. So for the moment, no Ninja Pro, Brandon Walsh not on a hot lap. Maybe let's have a look what Jarne van der Brill is doing until our top trio is heading on their hot lap. Our Belgian man in P8 right now. That would be a little bit disappointing for him. We've seen better results from him. But after Sector 2 he was more or less level to his formerly posted time. Let's see what he's doing in the last sector here. He would need an improvement, even though it's hard to achieve. And he will start maximally in 7th. Not a good position for the Belgian man. So what is our pole setter doing? Zimo had a little bit an improvement in sector 1. Tom Walsh right behind him. He is improving by exactly the amount of 10th that he is behind Simo. Let's jump around between those guys. Where is Tom Walsh? Still in sector 1, so let's focus on these guys ahead first. Simo will reach the end of Sector 2 and he is barely improving, 1/10 of improvement, and he needs to, because Tom Walsh is running hot right behind him. Tom Walsh lost a bit of time, he lost 2/10. So right now the pole would still be in Simo's hands. What is Tom Walsh doing? Let's have a look where the time stops for him at the end of Sector 2. Simo has posted a new hot lap, 1:29.6. Simo, here he is, he done it, he pushed the time under the 1:30 mark. Incredible, and Tom Walsh cannot reach up for him. He will stay behind him by 6.5 tenths. What is Tom Walsh doing? Can he at least get ahead of Stefan Williams? Can he maybe at least push into the first starting row? He can't, he finishes in 4th. Bit of disappointing result, I have to admit, for our championship contender number 1. And as everything else is out, the decisions are made. We have a pole setter that is called Peter Simpson, 6.5 tenths in front of Tom Walsh and Stefan Williams. How close was that? How close was Stefan Williams to the front row? Just 100ths of a second behind Thomas Walsh. We will see the gap right here again, exactly. So Simo in the pole, then Tom Walsh, followed by Stefan Williams. Then a big gap to Dominic Walsh, over a second the gap. That does not look good, too good for Dominic Walsh. Then Scuba in 5, 6 for Brandon Walsh, 7 Jarne Vandebril, 8 Mike Taylor, 9 Central Flyway, 10 Grimo, 11 Sotzanpat, 12 only for Mikko Caruso, not a good result for him likewise. Mercy Man in 13, Craig Dickens in 14, 15 Jack Rockney in 16 Monster, 17 Goziga Simpa, 18 Gary, 19 Pricey, and last David Lawson. Yeah, interesting qualifying we have seen, and that it looks like at the moment that this will be fuel to the fire in our championship run. It is, and it stays very close and tense, and our drivers have half a second of time to load the setup into the game, and I will be back with you in just a bit. So everything is set and done, and here we go into our installation lab. First look always goes out to the weather, that is just as fine as in the qualifying, and then to the that are used. Top 10 have to start on the qualifier. And yeah, right when I speak about it, here is the tire strategy presented by the Amazon Web Services. So Pirelli suggests a 2-stop race. And yeah, top 10 is starting on softs. Actually, not only top 10, it's rather the top 15. Just in 16th, Andrew Mond, and in 20, David Lawson, the only guys who opted to start on fresh mediums. Yeah, and let's get in once more while we see a big gap behind Simo. Simo is more or less flying through his installation lab. Let's get in another last view at our standings. I run it down for you in quali already, but just to refresh your mind about the names. Against Simo on the front, at least front for our championship stand. Simo is behind by 9 points to make up with Thomas Walsh then behind by 32 points behind his brother Dominic. And then the battle for fourth, Williams versus Mont and Van de Bril. Williams in a very good position. Stefan Williams made it in P3 in the qualifying, while his contenders, his rivals, are further behind. Van de Bril 7, Taylor 8, and Mont even back to 16. And then Grimo versus Lawson and Caruso. Grimo in position in P10, Rockstar 12, Lawson. So the 5 red lights are on and the Austin Grand Prix is started. Good start for Tom Walsh. I would like to say he already attacks Simo on the inside. Good start even from Stefan Williams, pushing for the lead. A bit of crash behind, and both Ferrari have dropped positions. We see Scuba, is it Scuba or Simo? I think both have damage. We see a early virtual safety car. We see the first penalties coming in for some severe collisions. Uy, there will be a lot of stuff to sort out in the end. Stefan Williams attacked very aggressively on the inside line in turn 1, received a penalty for that. And both the Ferrari, the big loser of the start, Scuba -3, Simo even -8 positions. But at least his front wing is in one piece. And Scuba, I couldn't see there in this angle, was a bit too fast to tell if he has damage. Attacking here already against Mike Taylor, and he has pushed ahead. We see, he needed to give the position back, and now lets his teammate through. We know that Scuba and Simo are very good team players, and he left his teammate through as he's in a better championship run. Between them now, the Haas of Central. And now in... Whoa, what was happening there? We have seen Simo running wide as he turned into the pits here and almost lost his car on the way in. Ooh, not a good start for our championship contender. He had a good quality. There was damage. There was damage to his front wing and he needed an early pit stop. Likewise to Tom Walsh, Craig Dickinson and Smixner, Jack Rodnan. Yeah, Simo had a great quali, but a bad start what pushed him into this troubled situation here, giving him only P17 after the first lap. And we have a virtual safety car. While Gary is in the pits here too. Blake Gary, who will be then in last position. Please do not get confused by the table. It's always bugged in the second lap. As soon as we are really in lap 3, the table will be updated and correct. Gary is not the leader. Gary is the last one actually. The real leader actually is... there it is! Stefan Williams. Good and aggressive start, but it got him a, I think, plus 5 seconds penalty. We see a full yellow and an early pit stop from Williams. I think he will take his penalty right here and stop from soft two mediums or hards to run long on them. Ooh, a lot of stuff going on here in the early phases of this race. Oh wow, Williams even had a drive-through penalty. Oh my goodness. Such a good quali, a good start too, and then an early drive-through. We have full track yellow. I am not sure how or why that is so. I do not see if there is safety car or VSC, just yellow flashing everywhere. Yeah, now we are back to green finally. So now we are into racing. And all of that, how incredible is that? We have seen a great quali by Williams and Simo, and pressure on Dominic Walsh to defend his leading position, and just one or actually 2 laps afterwards, those guys who had this great quali are in, yeah, I don't know where, just no man's land. Simo on 12th, Tom Walsh 19th, Stefan Williams still the best of all them in 8th, and Dominic Walsh is leading the race. Dominic Walsh is leading the race. We have the first attack going on. We have the first attack. Jarne van der Bril pushed ahead of the bit jumpy Brandon Walsh. We have full course yellow, no, vanished again. Yeah, the big winners of this situation, of course, Dominic Walsh, Jarne van der Bril pushing ahead into second after a not so good quali, and likewise this guy, Mirko Caruso, who had only a 12th position after quali. That was really not good, but here he is in 4th now, taking advantage of the chaos ahead. Oh, intensely locked tire here. We always see Ninja Pro Brandon Walsh a bit jumpy. He seems to have internet connection issues back. We have seen him already dealing with some troubles there in his home, and after it was better in the last weeks, it has turned a bit worse again. This is very unpleasant for Rockstar, for Caruso, as you can never know where he might jump next. So what else is going on? We see Stefan Williams close to Steven Watchitz, who did not have a good start too, but somehow survived the troubles and chaos. And Williams attacks him with DRS. This is one of the DRS zones. Cut back inside. Wow, nice move, wheel to wheel into turn 2. And he has shaken off the Ferrari. Hard attack, but a nice move. You got to be honest by Stefan Williams there. And now at the end of sector 1, it seems that Spuba could be able to counter it on the long straight. Seems like he came a little bit better through the S's. DRS opened here. And zooming ahead in the slipstream, backed up with the DRS and ERS attack on the inside line. And he did it. Congratulations for receiving your P6 back. And I could imagine this battle to go on for many laps, back and forth, and forth and back. So yeah, we will have an eye on laps between Chitz and Williams. Let's stay with those two guys for one more DRS zone. Start finish straight right here. where it all began, where Williams put in the first attack. He's too far away now. Too far away. Not too far away is maybe Ryan Price, who was able to close up to Central, but only close up, not really attack him. Ooh, troubles there. Almost lost his car and therefore received a warning for corner cutting. This was what I mentioned in the qualifying. You can cut corners, but it's not really faster. And ahead, Williams is closed. It's getting the zone to come up. Scuba defending on the inside line. Williams will need to attack from outside. Have a look how fast the Ferrari is. Have a look how fast Scuba is on the main straight, even though he did not have DRS. Did not have DRS, but still the AlphaTauri seemed like he was unable to get just next to Scuba. And behind, again, Pricey came close to Central, but not in a position to attack him. Maybe now, here won't work, but there is a DRS zone coming up on the start-finish line. Start-finish straight right here, a little bit of yellow. And it's too far away, and there was the attack, wheel to wheel, taking different lanes in turn 1, and Scuba was able to defend his position, but just barely. Let's see how close Williams can stay in these turns. Dirty air is really heavy in this phases, in this section, especially in the early race where the car is still full and heavy. He is half a second behind Hodgins, but we've seen how fast the Ferrari can be on the main straight. Scuba already going on the inside line to defend himself. And Williams, the S is opened, but he cannot really close up. Just at the end of the straight he comes a little bit closer, but no chance for an attack. Scuba left the door open. Little bit of braking troubles for Scuba. Wheel to wheel on the inside of this turn. And then better lane now for Williams. Scuba tries to brake late and missed the turn. So finally Williams got the P6 back, giving Scuba the trailing position again. Now Scuba is attacking a bit too much. He is a bit too aggressive. He wants to force it, but yeah, if you're too aggressive, if you force it, it will not work. And here is Central right behind them into the pits for his first stop. Received, I think, a +3 seconds penalty just when coming into the pit lane for corner cutting into the pit lane. And yeah, there it is. 3 seconds not touching the car. No, Nuno's probably he hurt his nose during the battle against Ryan Price. And he opted for hards. 21 laps remaining, so he might be able to go through on this set. We will have to watch that. He is out of the pits just ahead of Gary. We see here my friend very special Jack Rocknian, who is taking intense curbs here, and no, this is not a way to go through this section, through these turns in a competitive way. It's probably why he is ranked in P16. No chance to stay close to Blake Gary. Yeah, and we have seen the sky getting a bit more cloudy here, so let's see if this is just a bit more overcast, cloudy weather, or if it might turn into a bit of a rain towards the end of the race. Yeah, what's our championship contender doing? What is Timo doing? He has crawled up into P10. That's not where he wants to be, of course. That's not where he needs to be. So, he is missing Mercy Man. Let's on with him a bit to watch him maybe attacking him soon. I need to get out my calculator a bit. Ooh, very close here to Mercy Man. And wheel to wheel right on the entry of the long turn. DRS for the Ferrari, and he will fly very easy. So it's behind by 9 points. He needs to stay within Dom Walsh by 25 points to not see championship already today. That means he needs to stay points in this race. That means he may finish further behind than he's 7 or something, and I'm a bit confused. My answer was a bit late because I have the first drops on the below of Steam. It's not just a bit cloudy, it will be there. Laps. In practice. So I've heard that my voice is a little crippled, sadly, again. Out, but no. What this costs is. I don't know if you can hear. I've had some issues for a couple of weeks. We see Ferrari changing positions here. So it stays the way that Scuba is a team player, giving Simo the better chances on his championship run. Well, we see some spin from Jack Rockney. So the track gets more and more slippery, and we see Sotson, the first one to enter the pits, and he will probably opt for intermediates. Yes, he does. So, as you heard, I sadly again have some microphone issues. I will now try to switch to another headset. This might take a moment. I will be back with you in a bit. So here I am again on my other headset. The quality should in theory be worse, but we will see if the issues might be gone then. So let's get back our focus on the race. Craig Dickinson is out. Where is he? He already vanished from the game. Sadly cannot show you. While we are here with our host David Lawson, who will just stop in just a bit, I would like to say, if he doesn't lose his car before the pit entry, no he does not. He tries another lap on his mediums. Ahead, Scuba, who is struggling too. Ooh, Lawson, don't hurt your nose on the rear wing of the Ferrari. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers on Inters now. The first one who has stopped, at least from the leading crew, is this one, Mirko Caruso. So I'm trying to change a few options to make my sound quality, my voice quality a little bit better for you to understand. And Central is out. Let's have a look if we can get this depicted, what happened there. And we have a safety car. And DNF has caused a safety car, and Mirko Caruso has picked up a drive-through penalty for being too fast under safety car conditions. We are close here. Jarne van der Bril is using the safety car for his intermediate tire pit stop. Likewise, Seymour. There's Simo on his fresh inters. Oh, and Dominic Walsh did not stop yet. Probably he was already past the pit lane. He could not stop on inters when the safety car came out. This will be a big problem for him. This is this. He needs to run slow behind Bernd Mailänder here. The field will close up, and then when he finally stops for inters, he will drop a lot of positions and will be I'm not sure if he will be last, but he will be ranked back a lot of positions. And all of that just because he didn't stop earlier. So he could have stopped already a lap or two earlier, but he didn't want to. He refused to come in for Inters when maybe Sotzanpat did. But no, he said, I want to run one more lap, and then it was too late. And I am sure that he's sitting behind his wheel at home and is really angry, cannot overtake the safety car here, cannot crash into the wall. Ooh. Let's stay with him for his pit stop and see where he will land in the end. He will be very far behind. Even Simo will overtake him again. So now, all of a sudden, midway, no! He clicked the wrong tire! Oh, Dominic Walsh has clicked on the medium tire instead of the green Inter. Ooh. So if he was angry before, he will be cooking right now. My goodness, my goodness. Chaos and intensity to our championship battle. Simo, great quali, ranked back to almost last while Dom Walsh was leading. And now, midway through the race, the cards have changed entirely. Dominic Walsh in monstrously big troubles here. He has just a little bit of luck left for him, Dom Walsh, because we have safety car conditions. So, right now, when he is running on the track, he is not losing that much. But yeah, the field is closing up, field is getting closer behind him. So as soon as he will come into the pits again to get his correct tires, he will be, yeah, well, not last, but far outside the points. So right now, oh, he has now picked up even a 5 seconds penalty, so things are not getting better for Dominic Walsh. Ahead of him, Caruso is in the pits too. His teammate, oh my goodness, Mikko Caruso ahead of him in the pits. That means that Dominic Walsh will have to wait behind him. Oh, and Caruso waits for a penalty. My goodness, can it be any worse for Dominic Walsh in this race? Yeah, well, he will be last now, so with all that chaos going on, wrong tires, Nuno's penalty, teammate ahead in the pits. So in the end, if Simo would be champion, we will all remember this race. We will all remember this havoc, Armageddon chaos for Dominic Walsh. Yeah, and now his mission is to limitate damage. Simo has meanwhile stepped onto the podium with pit stops from him, of course, and from Dom Walsh and from Caruso, and all that gave Simo P3. That would mean at the standings right now, as things stand right now, that would mean that Simo would be granted 15 points, but he might even make a position or two, and Simo would be the new leader, getting us into the last race then. But okay, for the moment, let's focus. Is important because the safety car will be in this lap. The last sector, Jan van der Bril, the winner of the Monaco Grand Prix, will now dictate the pace in the last sector. He's more or less slow here, very steadily slow. Sometime he will pick up the pace. I think he maybe already did. And we are back to green condition. And Brandon Walsh is close to Van der Bril. Belgian man couldn't shake him off. There is Simo. Sotsanpat behind him is rather close too. There he is. Ooh, oh, very close here in these turns. Sotsanpat has a lot of trust in his car in these fast turns. And ahead, Brandon Walsh seems faster than Van der Bril here in these slippery conditions. Van der Bril obviously needs a moment to adapt. And attack here, maybe Brandon Walsh taking the curbs very intensely. Acceleration duel on the long straight. Brandon Walsh in the better position and has a better top speed, pushing ahead into the lead. And then there is Simo, of course. Just what's happening ahead. Van der Bril seems in trouble. Van der Bril seems like he was unable to really get a competitive setup for this mixed race, mixed conditions. Sotsanpat always sliding a bit on the exit of a turn. And Tom Walsh is close to Ryan Price here. Tom Walsh needs a full load of points if he wants to keep his championship run alive too. P6 would not be enough, I would like to say. Dominic Walsh is still in P60, in P13, and we see the first man who stopped for wets. That's Andrew Mont. Interesting. While Stefan Williams is ahead of Mercyman, the one who had a good start of the race, and Simo is in second. Peter Simpson in second position. And Andrew Mond is out, the one who was running on full wets, and he has crashed. I'm trying to find him. He's right ahead somewhere. There he is. There is the wrecked Red Bull. And we have another safety car, Officially, it's Walsh who is in the lead, just ahead of Peter Simpson. And who's in the pits? Sonnepat is in the pits. Oh, let's see what he do. Let's see if he might be the second one to switch on to wets. First he needs to serve a penalty. Nope. Inter to inter, green to green. He just came in to serve the penalty, so that's rid of him, but he lost a lot of positions here. From 4th to 15th. Wow. Just shows us how close the field is together. And there's officially David Lawson running on medium still. Can this be real? Can't believe that. Well, he is not behind Van de Bril. He is not 4th, he is 20th. And I don't know if he's still with us, if he checked out earlier and his car is driven by a CPU. Anyway, let's focus on the important things as we see Dominic Walsh, who holds 1 point in his hands right now. 1 point against his number 1 rival Simo, who is in 2nd position, and Tom Walsh, his brother, in 5th. So he would lose so much of gap in the overall standings. So there's another pit stop here from Blake Gary. Not the only one. Behind him, Stefan Williams, Sotzenpat again. Rosiga Simpa, all those pitting. Gary needs a new nose. Fresh Inters behind him. The Alpha Tauri of Stefan Williams has mounted a new nose likewise, so he now finally totally ruined his race. Sotzenpat, the next one, who is trying on full wets. Yeah, well, he could have had that 1 lap earlier already, but okay. Didn't lose a lot of time, of course, behind the safety car. Oh, and Blake Gary has spun out and will need the next new nose. Okay. So after a more or less okay qualifying for him, no good result for him. Oh, and ahead Van de Bril and Simo touched. Let's have a short look at the penalty situation. Van de Bril, for his touching Simo, receives a +5 seconds penalty. That is, yeah, not the best thing to do, especially late in the race. If there is a late safety car phase, the field is very close, and so the penalty seconds kick in even more. Mercyman committed the same mistake, touching Mike Taylor. Mercyman at the moment the penalty king with a +13 seconds. We see the safety car lights still flashing, meaning Bernd Mailander is not meant to come in this lap. Mercyman, another penalty, and Van de Bril takes his penalty right away. Mercyman now the penalty leader. So I would suggest that Van de Bril will opt for full wets here. First he gets a new nose, no, stays with Inters. So it's just a penalty serving, fresh nose mounting pit stop, and that costed him very much. Have a look at that. Just a few laps before he was the leader, and now he is outside the points. As we still have a safety car, he is able to crawl up, to close up to the field ahead. But yeah, we'll need a lot of work for him to get back into the top 10. It's a mix now with the next penalty. This guy, Jack Rocknayan, who introduced himself to be the Torpedo Jack. And yeah, we have just seen why, as he touched Stefan Williams and therefore received the +5. So, as we will have 7 laps left in this race, I expect the safety car to come in this lap, and I do not expect anyone to have another strategy race, pit stop. Yes, safety car in this lap. So as there probably is no strategy left for anyone on tires, I will depict the penalty situation for the rest of the race. Search for your favorite driver and have a look where he might land in the end. And as the restart is coming closer, we focus on a guy not Brandon Walsh to lead the in last second here. And we are back to green. Brandon Walsh has tried to shake off Simo. For the first moment, it seemed quite a good restart there for Brandon Walsh. Seymour was unable to attack him yet. Well, Brandon Walsh needs all the nerves he can have to survive these last 6.5 laps to preserve his first win of the mainstream racing series, and Seymour will give it all, will give everything to acquire 7 more points in his championship run. Behind, there is the fight going on between Ryan Price and Tom Walsh. Ryan Price in a very good position, but being under attack here from Scuba. I think we have not seen Ryan Price on the podium, at least for a very long time. But he would need to overtake one more position for that. Right now he is rather under attack from behind. Scuba on his return delivers us quite a good race too. Right now in 5th, but has a +3 seconds. Acceleration issues here for him. But Mike Taylor unable to attack. And Blake Gary is out, and we have seen another safety car. My goodness, is this possible? Incredible. On the left hand side there will be an Alpha. Where is the Alpha? There he is. There he is. And we see Van der Breggen in the pits again. Van der Breggen in the pits again. Well, he can not break the records of this season. The record for most pit stops is held by, who was it? I think Grimo. No, not Grimo. Need to look it up right now. I don't have it with me. We have seen 10 pit stops by one person in our race in Monaco just 3 or 4 weeks ago. Yeah, and all that, well, speaks in favor of Brandon Walsh, because we see at least 2, maybe even 3 more laps time where Simo cannot attack him. So right now Simo is sitting in 2nd and Dominic Walsh is sitting in 6th. That means for 6 you receive, I think, 8 points. Simo would receive 18. Simo makes up 10 points then. My goodness, and we would go with a 1-point lead from Simo. 1-point lead for Simo into the last race. How big, how incredible can it just be if things should stay this way right now? And to refresh your mind about the battle for 4th, we have seen the guys Stefan Williams, Mike Taylor, Andrew Mond and Jan van der Brille battling for 4th, all of them within 6 points. Right now we have Stefan Williams in 9th making 2 points, Mike Taylor in 7th making 6 points, so Taylor would overtake P4, and Mond is out and Van der Brille out of the points. Whew, interesting race and yeah, intense race. The race and our overall standings just intense and overwhelming my microphone. Once again, I'm sorry for the technical issues I have. I sadly have no idea what to change or where to work on to improve that. It occurs a week and next week maybe not again, so let's just hope that our season final next week will not be microphone bugged. The safety car is in this lap. The 3rd restart of our race. What will Brandon Walsh do this time? Can he hold his nerves together for the last 4 laps? And what will Simo do? Here we are on board with him. Brandon Walsh has picked up the pace and we are back to green. We see Mike Taylor dropping a lot of positions. Probably he has fun or maybe taking a pit stop there. We stay with the front as there is so much at stake here right now. Not only for this race but for the whole championship. Simo was rather cautiously, I would like to say, on this restart. Maybe he has just accepted his 2nd position. Tom Walsh has a +3, so it's unlikely that he will lose his 2nd position if he doesn't commit a mistake. And behind we see Dominic Walsh, who has passed Scuba. Dominic Walsh in 10th. That would make him +2 points in the end, so Scuba will try everything to attack him again, to help his teammate, because as things stand now we would not see a 1 gap for Simo in the last race, but we would see a 1 second gap for Dom Walsh in the last race, and all of that just as Scuba drop the position to him right here. So this is another little tweak in our MI's history. We might have to have mind in the next week, and Scuba is attacking Dominic Walsh. Walsh on the better lane here, lifting to not lose the car. Woohoo! Intense fighting going on here. And Scuba stays ahead, giving his teammate the virtual 1 point gap again. But this is all but not over yet. Not over yet. Behind him, behind Walsh, Stefan Williams. Ooh, Ninja Pro has picked up a 3 seconds penalty. Ninja Pro Brandon Walsh, 3 seconds penalty for multiple warnings. And that would make Simo the race leader. The race winner eventually. The race winner in just 3 laps. Scuba having trouble in these turns. And if Simo wins the race, this would put a lot of pressure on Dominic Walsh then for the last race. Because right now, Simo would have just 1 point of gap. If he wins this race, he will get additional points. That means he would have 8 points of gap, of cushion then in the last race. So Dominic Walsh needs to make it here. And maybe the position of Pricey, while we see Jack Rocknian, who has lost his Mercedes and is out of the session. Pricey is in trouble here in the rain. It seems like just a question of time when Dom Walsh overtakes him. And there is the attack. He goes by him on the outside line, not by yet. Ooh, taking a lot of grass. Pricey going wide there to avoid a collision. So fair driving for both of them. And Dominic Walsh finally got his plus 3 seconds. Likewise, Pricey does not have a penalty yet. So this plus 3 for Dom Walsh could be very costly in the end. And now he does it. He has done it. Finally got through there. And now he needs to make up ground. Not only positions, but ground with his plus 3 seconds. I hope it's okay to stay with Dom Walsh here, to be right in the middle of the action of the championship fight. Right now, as things stand, Simo would be our race winner after the penalties. It does not seem like he would be attacking Ninja Pro. He knows that he just needs to stay where he is. There is no pressure from behind because of the penalty for Tom Walsh. There is no pressure to win because of the penalty for Ninja Pro, as long as he just does not commit a mistake. So in the front, everything is more or less settled right now. It is the big question. What is happening here between Dominic Walsh and the second Ferrari of Scuba? Scuba is on a plus 6 seconds penalty. In the meanwhile, that means Dom Walsh just needs to stay where he is, and he will be granted the position ahead. So similar situation as his contender Simo, a few positions ahead. And all in the middle there is David Lawson, who is probably CPU driven and lapped by at least plus 1 lap. And here we see Tom Walsh. What does he do? Does he dare to attack Simo in the last lap? He is somewhere close to keeping his championship run alive, but just barely. He is, practically he's out. He's just trying to keep all his theoretical chances, mathematically chances alive. And Simo is 1.9 seconds behind Brandon Walsh. If Tom Walsh attacks him and maybe costs him another second, Brandon Walsh would be the race winner again all of a sudden. Tom Walsh not in the position to attack Simo. And just a few turns left in this race and everything seems like settled, at least here on the podium stands. Dom Walsh is close to Scuba. Dom Walsh, just do not throw it away in the last turns. And we jump to our leader, that is Brandon Walsh. The gap is at 2.1 seconds. 2.3. Ninja Pro is the race winner for 2 seconds. And then Simo has overtaken him. Simo, after his monstrously great qualifying and then a heavily bad start of his race, he came back to win the American Grand Prix Ninja Pro. That was bad luck in the end. Great race for him, really great racecraft. And then being ranked back to second due to a penalty. Thomas Walsh keeps his mathematically chances alive. And Dominic Walsh, yeah, well, he finished in 4th. That's right where he started. He seemed like the big winner midway through the race, then had some incredible bad luck with taking the wrong tire on the pit stop and came back to 4th. So applause for you, applause for Dominic Walsh to come back that strongly. In 5th, another good result for Ryan Price, getting a full handload of points. Then 6th goes to our comebacker in the second Ferrari, Stephen Hodgetts. 7, Stefan Williams, who had a good quali, but somehow, yeah, limited the damage that he had midway through the race, getting himself 6 points. 8th goes to Simon Gustafsson. 9th for Mark Goodman. 10, 1 point at least for Mikko Caruso. Jarne van de Bril, just 11th. He had some chances for more. I think he is our pit stop king for today. No, Mike Taylor had one more. 4 stops for Mike Taylor. And David Lawson, I have no idea what happened to him, what happened, how happened, why happened. He is lapped and finishes at 13 on totally used, totally destroyed mediums. Yes. The CPU is waiting for I don't know what to happen until it's officially over, until we can head to our champagne shower. Yeah, there is some background chatter going on. The lobby, the session is sadly more or less broken again. Once more, Codemasters is having trouble with their servers. Sadly, those issues are piling up. And the background chatter says, or it's like it says, that the session will not end by itself, not how it should end. We see the time remaining stuck at 1 second. So sadly we will not have podium fun here at the end of this session tonight. Nevertheless, this was the race result. This was Grand Prix number 21 of our first season. A great one, an intense one, an interesting one. Once more, me. I will have to look it up and try my best to get this issue sorted out, but somehow I am not, yeah, happy about it. Very positively that this might change soon. I think the chances are bigger for me to get the PS5 maybe someday, and that then get a solution to that in that way. Anyway, thank you for being with us. We will have the last race in Australia next week, and this race then will be the deciding one, and Simo is our new, again, leader of the standings, and he should go into the last race with, I think, 8 points of cushion to Dominic Walsh. Next week, Wednesday evening, 7:30 p.m. of UK time, is decision time for the first mainstream champion. Thanks for being with us. Have a good evening, and see you next Wednesday when we take this final decision. Stay safe in these times and keep racing.